wondrous things are occurring, as I had given the message to Zorra concerning the big island of Hawaii and what is called Prime Creator sent a directive to me to go and do some geographical work on the island, which I did. And of course, the island is no longer in danger of a massive eruption, as it is so termed. So the people can rest easy on the Big Island, and the volcano that was causing the issues is now beginning to quiet down. So that is another good thing. So that is what I have been busy doing for the past week or so. Anyway, but so that issue is dealt with. Now, when it comes to the revaluation, that is also coming to fruition as well. We have what you term the Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 were in the process of being processed, and they are almost completely done. And like we also said, that it is not contingent on the 1, 2, and 3 to have finished completely before the Tier 4s would also go. And some of the Tier 4s have gone. Ones that were not need 800 numbers were processed already. And the ones that do need the 800 numbers, you will be notified. But as far as the 800 numbers in perspective to the global currency reset, they're not as important as the exchanges themselves. So if you have not what you called acquired some of the Zimbabwe notes, the Iraqi dinar, or the other currencies, I would advise you to go ahead and do that prudently, as quickly as you can. Indeed. All right. The RV has also evolved beyond the simple revaluation of currency. The event was to be, in a way, it won't be in the way that you imagined it, of course. It is going to be far more unimaginative. Because it's going to, as you know, you have what is called your quantum financial system has been put into place, and that is in the process of it is going to be coming forth, which will eliminate the need for your 800 numbers. You will receive what's called notifications through what's termed emails and things of that nature as well. Some 800 numbers will be used to do what is termed as to get your locations as to where you're going to be going. Other than that, that is covered. So,
I have a question, Joe.
Of course.
So,
and what is the question?
Well, this has just come through.
Indeed.
People have questions in regards to what is this quantum financial system. From your point of view, tell us a little bit about that.
It does away with a fiat system. It does away with your fiat system. Your quantum financial system replaces your fiat system of governing money and things of this nature. Also understand that the exchange, your currencies exchange, will be digital. It is not going to be what you call paper money, as you term it, in the which is called in the long run. It will be digital, so easier to manage. But because of the great quantities of currency you're going to be having from your blessing, so when you see an abbreviation known as QFS, that stands for your quantum financial system. So you'll probably be starting to see that more frequently in all the communications that you receive. So, and as it was mentioned, that the liquidity of the which is called of the finances, and which is termed your monies, when it is your what you call your replicators, as you term them, they could easily be used for nefarious activities, such as counterfeiting or laundering and things of this nature. So, by bringing the world to a cashless society, it will eliminate that possibility. And that's what the QFS will be doing. So it's nothing to be concerned or what is called in dire straits about, because it's going to be better for you to have a digital, which is called society, instead of having paper funds and fiat money and things of this nature that are worthless anyway.
Zorra?
But, go ahead.
Yes, I guess the key question, one of the questions that people have is that all of us, I know that they've been working with the QFS for quite some time already, but is this going to be how we will be revaluing? I mean, is this how we're going to be exchanging? Is that what you see?
Yes, you're going to get, initially you'll be able to take a certain amount of funds in cash, but then of course it would be what you call your gold-backed currencies and the USN, as you term it. And then after that, then everything goes digital because of the magnitude of your return on your currencies, such as, take the Zimbabwe, for example. The Zimbabwe currency, your 100 trillion note, your banks, no way on this planet would they have that amount of money on hand to be able to compensate you for your exchange. So it must be digital. So they simply type in the amount that your return would be, and that would go in your account. And then, of course, you would access that through your what you call your unlimited card, what you term as yes.
It also says, in regards to being able to access your quantum financial system account, it's accessed only through your DNA. Now,
yes.
And of course, this quantum system obviously has come from the galactics, correct?
It has indeed.
Yes. So how are we, I mean, this is like the first time for many people that this is even going to come, this is like a little bit of a surprise for all of us, that all of a sudden now we're going to be able to access our accounts through our DNA. That's rather interesting.
It is interesting. It is a complex, what is called process, but it will be simplified simply because of the DNA, the way it's set up. Everyone has DNA, so there's no one on the planet that doesn't have DNA, so obviously that would be a given. But but you also will be able to access your funds by the means of what you term as the unlimited card, physical card that you carry, and be able to access your funds through that as well. But also, you understand that the exchange, as I was saying before, that it must be in a digital form because of the immensity of it.
Yes.
Each and every one of you have X amount of currency. Some of you have hundreds of the 100 trillion notes, and some of you have more than that. But when I mentioned for you to purchase them, I did not mean for you to go crazy, as the term is, to buy an overabundance of these bills, because you will be able to exchange a certain amount of them, but not all of them, because you have for the ones that have purchased an overabundance of them. So you want to be able to spread spread the blessing outward from you. You understand a 100 trillion note, even if it was to exchange at your international rate, that is a phenomenal amount of money, even at that rate. But we already know that you're going to get the rainforest, not the forest. So you understand that your exchange rate is going to be mind-boggling for many, and just to walk in the park for some who have been involved in the market of currency their entire lives. But understand, people that are going through receiving your blessing, it will be in a digital form, and easy to manage that way. So you will be able to, instead of carrying suitcases upon suitcases upon suitcases of funds in to purchase something, you will simply have a card with unlimited access. So.
I
yes?
think lastly, Zorra, before you go on to the next topic,
Indeed.
I guess as far as why, and you already mentioned because of the enormity of the funds, it has to be digital, and we're already using digital anyways. Cryptocurrency is all about digital. This is also the safest way in order to be able to, so that the cabal cannot get into your own funds, because it is so specific to you as far
Indeed.
as protecting you for your account. Now, so people should not worry at this point as well. Because remember,
yes,
this is the first time you're seeing this. Does not mean that, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? You're going to be, you will be, informed, and, you will be given instructions. And as far as where those funds go, it will all be digital. So really not to worry. Everything will be moving along wonderfully and beautifully.
Indeed. And also understand, this goes for what you term into the area of what you call the religion, such as Christianity. A lot of the people in the Christian world of understanding, they have been programmed through, which is called through their doctrines and through their different avenues of learning, that the Catholic society will herald in what is known as the Antichrist. Now, I'm going to burst a few bubbles at this point, because there is no such thing as an antichrist, what you call a world leader that is going to be in control of everything and everyone. That is not going to happen. So I can assure you that this movement toward a cashless society is not bringing in what you call your tribulation, as you term it, or anything of that nature. It is not also not bringing in what you term in the Christian world the rapture, as you term it. Understand that is an understanding that was programmed into you from the early church. And, of course, it is also the belief systems of the Christian people have been so, what is called, doctored, that you're not receiving the full truth of it. So, in that regard, that refers back to your original Bible or original scripture written down in what you term as the Dead Sea Scrolls, which many of you have no access to anyway, but only certain select few have that access. But understand that scripture is the original writings of the Bible were so precise in their being written down that, and of course the essence of it is to let you know what we have been telling you all along, that you are gods and goddesses. And your original Dead Sea Scrolls states that in writing, in the Hebrew language, that you are gods and goddesses. And so understand that this understanding of or misunderstanding of the what you call the coming tribulation, or what you term the second coming of Christ, understand Christ is already here. He doesn't have to come a second time. He's here already. So, and he is known as Sananda. So, which is, and I also understand the term Jesus was also changed from Yeshua. So, it is, there is a bit of conflict there. But also understand that it is nothing for you to be worried about, because the blessing is going to come regardless of what you think or how you act. It is going to come to everyone. And there's not going to be, not one person is going to be in control of everything. It is not the way it works. So, and another thing was that the Anunnaki, as you tell it, in the earlier times, are the ones that messed up your DNA. Originally, your DNA was a 12-strand DNA. And then it was broke up by the Anunnaki and brought down to a 2-strand DNA. So, literally, that is where duality came into the picture. And all of that is also being put back right the way it was meant to be, back to a 12-strand DNA. All of what you term as the junk DNA that's floating around in your system is all coming back together as a 12-strand DNA. So back to its original, what it was originally. So that is also symptoms that people are feeling now: drowsiness, wanting to sleep, wanting to relax, and things of this nature. This is all symptoms of your DNA coming back together as the way it was meant to be. So this is going on within your body, which you do not have access to see, but it is happening. Your DNA is strand. If you were to look at it under a microscope, you would be able to see it literally coming together as as building blocks, if you will, adding to the 2-strand DNA, becoming thicker and thicker and thicker. So that is what is transpiring in your bodies. and of course your symptoms you're having, such as nausea and drowsiness and things of this nature, is because of that, because your DNA is reshaping itself. So back into the strand of the 12-strand DNA that it was originally meant to have. So, and that also will bring your body from a carbon-based entity back to a crystalline-based entity. So your density of your body will be less and less and become lighter and lighter and lighter until finally you will be as if you are translucent. And in a sense, you will be able to walk through a wall without even thinking about it. And this is what your body is doing. It is in the process of transforming back to the original, which is called your original blueprint, if you will, or your original 12-strand DNA. So for the people who are in that field of study, they have already realized that this is occurring. But of course, they are not allowed to speak of it because they do not want to bring panic into the world of that, in that field. But it is happening. So your bodies are transforming. Your bodies are transforming from a carbon base more into a crystalline base. It's nothing to be concerned or worry about. If your body is just going to go through these changes, and you're going to be concerned because of the result of the transformation that is taking place. But also understand, it is a must-have. It is your body is going through this change because it has to. And when the Anunnaki came in and messed things up with your DNA and the human body and implemented duality, this was a mistake on their part. And of course they realized that mistake, but it was a little bit too late for that because of what they had done. So your makeup has been altered, and now it's being corrected. So you may feel, in your bodies, you may feel much different than you have in the past. And that is a natural event. Do not panic. It is not something that's going to be life-threatening. It is going to improve your way of understanding in life. This.
DNA. So where are we, Zorra? 6, 7, 8 strands?
8 strands now. You're in your strands have gone from 2 to 8. So you're definitely changing. You're no longer a 2-strand entity, 2-strand DNA entity.
You want to speak about full consciousness now as it relates to
Once you get to your 12-strand DNA, that's when your body goes into the state of full consciousness. And when that occurs, you will be using 100% capacity of your brain. Presently, you're only using 10, well, maybe more than that because your strands are coming together. So I would say you're using more like 20 to 25%. And it's going up as your DNA comes together. Your capacity of brain knowledge goes up with it. So you're not simply staying consciousness is not staying in the lower realms of understanding. You're getting closer and closer to your full awakening. And so, that's already been taken care of. So, when your full awakening comes to you, it will not come overnight. It will take time for it to come to assimilate in you. But once it does, you will have full knowledge, all-knowing, just like the gods do. They know all. And you will have that knowing as well. And no one would be able to do what is the term? Pull a wool over your eyes. Is the term that was used? So your discernment is going to rise in understanding. You're going to become smarter because the recesses of your heart mind that are not being used are going to open up, and you're going to have access to them. Remember what I said about the vault of knowledge that is between your ears. You term it the brain. That is simply a vault of knowledge where your knowledge is kept, both conscious and unconscious knowledge is being stored there. And your heart mind, which is in your chest cavity, that is your actual thinking, processing mind. If you understand the reasoning of that, is that when people have had what is called a heart transplant from a donor, people that have received donor hearts have also received extra gifts in the form of able to speak a language you've never spoken, or able to play a piano and never sat down in front of one, because you have these abilities that you have received from the donor, because the donor's mind or donor's heart, which you have become the owner of, in essence, you have taken on the mind of that donor. Because of your essence, your mind was removed, and you received another. So in essence, you received another personality. Your personality is gone. It was taken out, and you have acquired another, which means you're going to have an abundance of gifts that you, part of your old self, and then also a good portion of the new self. So when people had in the past, they tried to do what was called a mechanical heart, it didn't work because it was not a thinking, processing heart. And this is what people are. Oh.
Continue with what you were saying about the heart.
Yes.
And then segue. We have only 15 minutes left.
Indeed. So, getting back to your heart is your thinking, processing mind, the one in your chest. Your brain between your ears is simply a vault of knowledge. That is where all of your knowingness is stored. Now, on what you receive is stored there. Again, back to your heart mind. Your heart mind is your heart. So cherish your heart and do everything you can to keep it healthy. And of course, to do that, you must change the way you think. You must stop thinking 3D reality and begin picking up on 5D reality, because that's what you are. You are in what is called midterm, if you will, midterm to the full fifth dimension. And once you have acquired full fifth dimension thinking, then of course the old ways will vanish away. Your old thoughts will vanish. You will have new ideas, new concepts, new understanding. This is what the coming together of your DNA is doing. It is transforming your mind, your heart mind. And it is also, as it does, you are able to access more of the heart mind. Where you were doing 10% in the past, say 5 or 10 years ago, you now are in the area of much higher usage of your mind. So as your DNA comes together more and more toward the 12 strand, then your thinking, the way you think, will change drastically. What I mean by not in a bad way, but in a very good way. But it is changing in a good way, very drastically, toward full consciousness. Where you will not, when you get to that point, you will not have to make phone calls to me, or email Quasar or Zorra, because you will already have the answers. You will not need coaching or instruction any longer, because you will know exactly what you need to do. That's part of being full conscious. So when you acquire the full conscious status, that will be when your life will change in ways unimaginable. You will simply be able to create from thought. An example, say you want what is termed as a property, and you want this property to have whatever you want upon it. From thought, you will be able to create the ownership of that property, and you will also, before you even set foot on the property, will already have acquired the structure, preferably a pyramid, that would be upon that portion of property. So, out of thought, this is the way we do in Hollow Earth. We simply think what we want, and it is manifested instantly. So, this is what you are working towards, full consciousness, to where you are using 100% brain capacity that you are able to do. You had in your past a movie, I believe it was, about a woman acquired that capability of using 100% of her brain and what she was able to accomplish. This is a bit of exaggerated film, but it did bring you to the point of understanding what could be. And that is what you will be able to do. You will be able to do those feats that she was able to do. You will be able to reason much quicker and rapidly. You will be able to speak from thought and create what you desire. And it will be manifested in an instant. So this is what you are coming towards. This is what your DNA, your 12-strand DNA will grant you. Access to that type of ability to able to speak it forth and bring it into existence. This is why we always emphasize to you to meditate. Meditate, 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 because it opens your mind up to much more grander things, much more grander possibilities. Meditation is the key to that. So even if you do not desire to meditate, people do meditate even when they're in their waking, working hours. So you do not have to set aside a certain time to meditate. You can meditate while you're doing your joy. You term it job, but your joy. When you're doing your joy, or what you term job, you can even meditate while working. Just simply, subconsciously, through your to your higher self, just put your mind in a state of meditation, and still go about your daily activities. But you will be able to do that more readily, more frequently, and so this is what you're moving toward. This is your goal, to move into a full fifth-dimensional understanding, an all-knowing, all-encompassing mind. And this is what your body is in the process of metamorphosizing into. So don't dread having these symptoms you're having, because it is part of the metamorphosis that is taking place in your body. It is nothing that is going to end your life or bring you to understanding of nausea and dread and all that things of this nature. It is simply changing your molecular structure of your body to a full fifth-dimensional understanding, lighter and lighter and lighter. When you get up in the morning, you simply go to your window, open it up, and say, "What a wondrous, glorious, and loving day it is." And when you do that, you are programming your body, your mind, and your heart mind, your vault of knowledge, to accept that understanding that it's going to be a wondrous, glorious, and loving day. And it will be exactly that, a wondrous, glorious, and loving day. And that you can be assured of. So, when it comes to your world situations, politics and Trump and New Republic, all of this is coming into existence whether you want it to or not. And it's going to be coming quite imminently. Anyway, I'm going to do a quick pulse, send energy out to everyone so they can feel this the metamorphosis that is taking place in their bodies. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, receive. And simply say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I receive. And then begin to feel the changes that are taking place in your body. And begin to notice the newness of your body, the newness of your mind, and more crisper thinking, more dynamic understanding, and your discernment is going to improve by leaps and bounds as well. So she's going, and I know she's going to bring this next person on, and